Just got inside Saguaro National Park. I'm on the east side. I'm hiking up into the Rincon Mountains, which are behind me. And this is the Catalina Mountains here. Mount Lemon over there. It's really pretty. It's about 2:30, 2:45 in the afternoon, about 90 degrees. But just absolutely beautiful. I'm gonna get going on the trail, and I'll check back in. You can see all the cactus are in bloom. This here is Santa Rita prickly pear. You can tell because the pads are purple, which is kind of unique to some of the cacti that are found around here. Pretty cool. It's really nice. You can't smell on the video, but it smells so good out here. These bushes are greasewoods or creosote, and man, they smell so good. The flowers are very fragrant, and looks like all the spring flowers are out, so a lot of flowers all over. So this cactus here is a type of a barrel cactus, and it's called a fishhook. You can see that the spines on it are all shaped like fish hooks. All the cactus has new little bits of growth on it. See all of that? I think we must have had a lot of rain this winter because all of this cactus has a lot of growth on it. It's really cool. Here's the Tucson. And the ocotillo are flowering, which is pretty cool. You can see a bunch of them here. It's interesting, if you look down here, there are no ocotillo, very few. You see those two there, and then once you get past them, no ocotillo. Then when you look up here, you can see them all along the ridge line. So this seems to be the elevation where the ocotillo start to grow. Pretty cool. I think the rest of it today, as I go up, I'm going to move into like junipers, piñons, and tomorrow I'll be at 8,000 feet. It'll be ponderosa pines and a pine forest, high elevation. So you see a lot of different terrain change. Climbing pretty much since I left the Jeep, and still in really pretty country. You can hear a dove. These mountains are really pretty. Just views for days. I talked to the rangers, and they said the only water is at Manning Camp, which is way up on top, 8,000 feet. So I'm carrying about 20 pounds of water, just a hair over 20 pounds of water. Nine and a half liters, I think, is what I'm carrying. Feeling that, but definitely do not want to be out here without water. It's like the worst thing. It's the worst feeling. looks like a rattlesnake. No, maybe a bull snake. No rattle. Very pretty snake. It's probably trying to get some sun. I guess. See, there he is. So it is 20 after 6. My dad dropped me off. We left the house about 2:30. He probably dropped me off, and I was on the trail maybe 10 till 3-ish. So it's a good 3.5 hours. But yeah, good. I'm super tired. I'm ready to get some food and get it in me. The sun's going down. You can tell over there. It's nice and quiet. All 3 campsites here. All 3 were open. And yeah, good to go. So I'm going to set up a tent before it gets dark. Get some dinner going. Check in. All right. Well, I got my tent pitched. I think I'm going to sleep without the fly on. Hopefully be able to see some stars up here. Almost certainly. And there's not a cloud in the sky, so I'm not really worried about getting rained on. This spot's nice. It's a little dirty, but it's not dusty like that spot. That's like that real fine dust, and it's flat. And it's a really pretty spot. You can kind of see the alpenglow on the mountains. Really, really pretty. I see a cottonwood right there. I wonder if the spring's around here somewhere. Go look around. Maybe in the morning look around some. All right, I'm gonna get some food going. All right, well, it's morning. I've been up for a couple hours. I woke up about 5:30 and started, just kind of listening there. The spring is just right over this way. There's a ton of water here. I didn't need to bring as much water as I did. But I could hear toads calling to each other all kind of up and down the ravine. The spring starts up that direction, and then it kind of runs behind me and goes down this drainage here. The water looks really good. It's nice and cool. I would definitely need to filter it. It's used by all the wildlife, and it's full of algae and things like that, but it's good water. I made some breakfast. I'm just breaking camp. It is now about 7:30, so I've been up about 2 hours. Just kind of went exploring down the canyon, and then I went up and found where the spring starts. Yesterday I did about 2,200 feet of elevation in about 7 miles. This morning I'm going to head up the mountain, and where I'm camping tonight is at 8,000 feet, a little over 8,000, and where I'm at currently is about 4,800. So I have a ton of elevation gain to do today. I've tried to drop a bunch of my weight. I slept really good last night. I got a little bit warm, but I just unzipped my sleeping bag. It was real quiet. I could hear animals. I could hear an owl, and I could hear the toads this morning. And then right as the sun was coming up, I could hear all the birds. I'm all packed up. My pack is feeling quite a bit lighter. I still have about 3, 4, 5, 6 liters of water, so I went through about 4 liters total getting here, and I drank plenty. But my pack is much lighter. It's carrying well. So I am going to get out of here. This is a quick look around the campsite. There's a nice flat spot here, but it was really dusty, so I didn't stay there. There's a bear box. And then this way there's another campsite 2 that's right there. And then campsite 1 I passed. It's about 150 yards that way. All right. So the spring is up this way, and I guess we'll just kind of walk this way real quick. It's actually up this canyon a little bit. But as you can see, it's very grassy. Horse prints. And as you can see, there's a lot of water here. Plenty of water. And it's a little mossy, but it's clean. And it'd be good filtered. I think the spring is just up this canyon a little bit. I walked up there earlier this morning. All right. Well, if you look down this canyon, it may be hard to see, but there you can see the cottonwood trees down there. They're really light green down in the very bottom. You can see where the ravine kind of snakes. And that's where I came from. That's where I camped this morning. And I've been climbing, as you can see, ever since. It's real pretty up here. Seen a couple rabbits, and that's about it. A couple of lizards and stuff. You can see This area is kind of a burn area. Some of the trees are charred, and you can see that oak tree is like a little, doesn't look super healthy. See how much the terrain is changing. Like in really thick manzanita now. It's pretty warm already, but I think it's going to get cooler as I go up, so it shouldn't get too much hotter for me today. Just spotted some water down here. See right down there is a pretty big pool, so must be, you can see some cottonwoods, must be water all up this little drainage here. There's a ton of water right there. I'm kind of hiking up this drainage, and you can see there's a lot of trees around me. See where I came from. It's like, it's really nice and cool. You can hear the birds around. Every now and then you can hear some water. This drainage here is all full of water. You can see, you know, pools all the way down. So yeah, it would have been good to know that. You know, you never know what you're going to get in the desert. And, you know, when I hike by myself, I never, don't ever dump out any water, and don't ever make any assumptions about finding water. You know, you got to definitely conserve and preserve. But yeah, you know, just this time of year, the weather is really nice, and there seems to be lots of, you know, water on the ground. So it's really pretty, like amazing. This manzanita is all really thick. Manzanita and then oak. I think there's 3 or 4 different types of oak trees. And then a lot of juniper. But yeah, it's nice. You know, you can tell this area has been burned. These trees are all junipers. I think alligator bark juniper, based on the pattern of the charring. I'm just assuming that. I could be wrong. But you can see all the way over on that other ridge, all the larger trees are all burned. So this area is probably burned, I don't know, 20, 25 years ago maybe. I'm just assuming. This area, this part of the hike is so beautiful. It's so nice. It's perfect to hike it in this time of the morning. So this is still Douglas Spring Trail, but I am kind of south and southeast of the Douglas Springs campground. So I'm kind of heading up the mountain. But man, it is so pretty. It's just phenomenal. This drainage is full of little pockets of water. You know, I've seen a bunch of rabbits, lizards. You know, I've heard what sounds, you know, like bigger, you know, maybe deer or something, but I've not seen anything, you know, so thick. It's hard to spot anything. But man, it's just spectacular. I've started seeing pine trees here and there. See, there's one through there. Before I was seeing kind of short, squatty ones. And now I'm starting to see some bigger ones interspersed. They look like ponderosas. You can see here, this is this drainage that I just came up. I kind of came up through this manzanita forest here. That was the really beautiful part. And then I crossed the drainage and then kind of switched back up this ridge and then crossed the drainage again and kind of came around up this way. Where I camped last night, you can see kind of that flat area at the bottom of the drainage, and it curves around to the right. Where I camped last night is down around to the right. It's really nice. You can see the views are just amazing. So, you know, I think when people think of Saguaro National Park, they just think of, you know, like the stuff that I hiked through for the first couple miles yesterday. But, you know, this is just absolutely spectacular. And, you know, I'm out here by myself. I haven't seen any other people or heard any other people. So it's just really nice. You know, it's nice to be able to get out and see this kind of thing. I am at Cowhead Saddle, 6,100 feet. I started about 48, so 1,300 feet. I've come 2.4 miles, so 1,300 feet and 2.4 miles. I'm heading to Manning Camp, so another 4 miles up, and so I'm like making pretty good time, and I think I may stop here, have a little break, get some water, and see what there is. Looks like this tree is a nice place to sit down. Here you can see the Catalina Mountains in Tucson at the base, and Tucson kind of wraps around. It's really pretty. So across the way you can see the trail. Well, I'm going to be going tomorrow. Comes up the saddle. And so it looks like I will have some climbing tomorrow, but the net is a bunch of downhill. I'm going to go from about 8,000 feet back down to about 2,200. And so from Manning Camp up top to the trailhead, which is my pickup spot, is 15 miles. So I think tomorrow, 15 and a half miles. I think tomorrow I may just push on through the more I think about it. It'll be a long day, but it's mostly downhill. A couple of uphill sections, but I don't know what I'll do if I just have to hike like 6 miles downhill to get to another camp. I might as well just keep going. I'll see what I feel like though. I may when I do some exploring. spot's real pretty. You can see the cactus over there. Santa Rita Mountains. You can see the tailings from a mine way over there. And you can see Tucson. All right, well, I broke the map out and I'm looking around. So this peak that's in front of me here is Tanque Verde Peak. The Cowhead Saddle that I came from is just right down, you know, in the saddle between the mountain that I'm on and that mountain over there. And so where I came from this morning, Douglas Spring, I came up this way, and here's the Cowhead Saddle area, and you can see Tanque Verde Peak. So really the map should kind of go this way. So I'm looking that way at Tanque Verde Peak, and I'm heading up this way. I think that the area that I'm in is this flat area here. It's this kind of, so I think I'm just kind of here at the edge of the map. And so I have another, about halfway there, maybe another mile, 1.3 miles. To kind of get where I'm going. I think this is kind of like a false peak. I think I'm going to go up and over it and then go up again. So I think the actual mountain I'm going to climb is behind this one. But where I'm going to camp tomorrow is here at Juniper Basin. And so it looks like, you know, the top of the peak here is about halfway. So once I get down to this saddle, I'm going to climb up. That's probably the bulk of the uphill I'm going to have tomorrow. And then I drop back down 1.8 miles. Yeah, so it's about, this segment from the saddle to the peak is 2.4 miles. And then from the peak to Juniper Basin Camp is 1.8 miles. And so that would be kind of a short day tomorrow. But yeah, it's really pretty. It's kind of nice and cool up here. It's about 80 degrees. There's like a light breeze, and it's real comfortable hiking, other than the fact that it's just up and up and up and up. So yeah, so I got about another 500 feet to go up, which is not a lot, but it's definitely been a slog. And I think when I get to the top, when I get to camp, I'm gonna find a place to drop my stuff, and then maybe there's a loop that I wanted to do around the peak, so I'll do that. And I'm gonna have a lot of time this afternoon. This is an awesome little cactus. All right, I'm in a saddle. And look at the size of this juniper. I think it's just massive. You can see him in the pines. It's really pretty up here. It's interesting kind of to see these yuccas interspersed with oak trees and these junipers, pine trees. Really pretty. I checked the GPS, and I'm at about 7,100 feet here, I think. So I still got about 1,000 feet to go up somewhere. And I'm just going to keep going. I just spotted one of my favorite little critters. Right here, a little horny toad. Little small guy. You can see. I like these little guys. They're my favorite. They're so awesome. They're prehistoric looking. This is a little guy, maybe a year old. So I'm going to take a picture with my phone. It's really pretty through here. See all the pine needles on the ground. New pine trees. So I came across this spot. There's this rock formation, and down here you can see there's running water, and I can hear it when the wind stops. Here's another horny toad. This one's bigger. Looks a little hungry. I think these guys are just out here trying to get some sun. As you can see, I'm just about at the top of this little peak that I'm on. And I think I'm gonna maybe drop back down or wind around the back and then continue my climb. Yeah, this is like a proper little creek. See a pool of water. Let me go splash some water on my face. Take my pack off. Too good to pass up. You can see this water is running. A lot of water. So I wonder if this comes from the spring that's up on top at Manning Camp. I wonder if this is the water. But you can see it's on the surface as far as you can see. So I stopped to splash a little bit of water on myself, and this water is cold. Like, it's very, very refreshing. It's very nice. You can see the pool is clear. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't drink it without filtering it because, there's they used to run cows up here, and there's horses and, other livestock that come up here. But the water is very cold, and it's probably really, really delicious. But I think I'm going to wait to filter until I get up on top. And it's probably, it's probably the same water source. But yeah, this is so nice. It's very, very pretty. Real green. You can hear the birds. Hear the wind in the pines. I have a few more miles to go. I think maybe two miles to go before camp. So you can see I'm almost at the summit. And I think Manning Camp, there's a junction in the trails right up here. And I think Manning Camp is kind of that way. Here's my junction. Manning Camp, 0.6 miles. Italian Spring, Cowhead Saddle behind me, 3.3. That was the hardest 3.3 I've done in a while. A lot of elevation, but it's really pretty. It's nice and cool up here. The views are for days. Awesome. Here's number 3 Horny Toad for the day. I don't want to scare him. He's just trying to sun himself. You can hear squirrels. I think I just passed the highest elevation that I'm going to be at today, which was 8135, which is just right at the top of this little hill, a couple hundred feet behind me. I'm dropping back down, and I think the camp is going to be just about a quarter of a mile up in front of me. I reached Manning Camp. I have no idea where the actual backcountry campsites are. There's a bunch of weird looking tents. I'm going to go back up to the ranger station and see if I can figure out what I'm supposed to do. But this is my water source, which is pretty awesome. There's like a little pond right up on top. So there's a lot of water coming out of here. It's pretty amazing because we're pretty much the top of the mountain. But I got my filter. I'm going to filter some water here and probably fill up all my stuff. All right. Well, it's about 4:30. I've just been kind of pedaling around here for the last couple hours. Walked up and down this canyon and kind of walked up that way over to the overlook. And got my tent pitched, got my pack emptied out, and my bed all set up. I ate some dinner. I did a dehydrated meal, and I'm at such a high altitude that it takes, instead of 15 minutes to reconstitute, it took me about 45 minutes to reconstitute it. So that was fun. I think I'm going to get up early tomorrow morning. I'm going to break camp, and I'm going to hike out of here, and I'm going to see if I can hike all the way down to the trailhead. It's about 15.5 miles, which would be a super long day. But I'm going to see if I can do it, because I think it'll give me some more time to rest up, even though it'll be a really tough day tomorrow. I'm able to get cell coverage here, which is kind of weird. I have to stand in a certain spot and I get like 1 bar, but I was able to text my family and make sure that somebody could pick me up tomorrow. So I think that's all good. Tomorrow I'm gonna hike back out the way that I came in, down to that saddle, Cow's Head saddle. And then there I pick up the Tanque Verde Ridge Trail, and I'm going to hike the Tanque Verde Ridge all the way out. All right. This is Manning Camp. There's horse corrals over there. The spring, or the water source, is just right over here. It's the trail out of here. I signed in yesterday. It's just a little before 6, and I'm trying to be quiet so I don't wake people up. This is the way I came in yesterday. It's really pretty last night. I slept pretty good. Tossed and turned a bunch. Woke up about 12:30. But I went to bed real early, about 7:30, because I woke up at 4 to get an early start. So here's this little pool I stopped at yesterday. I think it actually may be a spring here, because I haven't really seen any water up that way, but it keeps going that way. All right, I've dropped down quite a bit. I've come about a mile, 1.6 miles, and I'm starting to see more junipers. Some more water pockets. There's definitely plenty of water along this trail. No need to carry as much water as I did. More water. You can hear it running. See if we can see a fall. I don't want to fall. You can see Tanque Verde Peak over there. It's got the sun on it. I'm going to be hiking up that in about an hour. plenty of water. It's really pretty. Kind of comes down here. You can see a big pool down there. And I can see the sun. Wow, look at that. You can see the sun just peeking up. It's really pretty looking out over the valley. There's Tanque Verde Peak, sun on the Catalinas. There is Tucson. Almost down to the saddle. You can see where I gotta go down, and then I think across the way I can see the path. So I gotta go down and then back up over this ridge and then drop down. Alright, that's looking south. That's pretty much west. And then there's Tucson. You can see Tanque Verde Wash down there. Now, I thought I was almost to the saddle, but I'm not. The saddle is at the bottom of this one. So I still got about half mile, maybe 3/4 of a mile, depending on where the trail goes. And then I'm going to head up this peak. And then I'm going to go down this ridge, I believe. So I come out over that, kind of this way. Where I came in is over here. And then I'll go out over here. So this is Tanque Verde Peak. This is where I stopped for a break yesterday. It's got some amazing views. Alright, looks like I'm back at the saddle. It is 7:30. I left at about 6. And let's see. About an hour and 50 minutes, it says. And 4.11 miles. Highest point was 8,200, and I'm currently at about 6,100. So dropped about 2,000 feet. All right, well, I think I'm gonna maybe take a little bit of rest here, and then this is my route out. So I think I'm making good time. I'm definitely looking forward to going uphill for a little bit because, man, my quads are just burning. It's definitely much faster going downhill, but it works a different set of muscles. But I'm definitely not complaining about going downhill because I just covered in 2 hours what took me probably the better part of 3.5 hours yesterday to do. So, yeah, definitely not complaining. But weather's nice. Sun's getting ready to peek up over the hill here, and we'll get going. Well, I'm climbing again. Actually feels pretty good after coming down this. I came by that knob up there, came down around this way, switch back down, and then back up here. Definitely back down in the chaparral. That's a manzanita oaks. Yucca. I'm hiking along this ridge line. You can see here it goes down. And then over here, it drops down as well. So I probably go up along this thing, and then it's a drop down from there. But it looks like I'm still gonna do some ups and downs for the rest of the day. But it's really pretty. think I'm almost to the top, but I can see behind another sign. So this trail is kind of trolling me, but it's really pretty. Really good views up here. Bunch of blue jays in the tree over there. Three of them I think I saw. There's one. You can see what looks like the summit. .5 miles. Tanque Verde summit, 100 yards. I think I'll go check it out. Looks like my trip down is going to be ups and downs and ups and downs. 'Alright, we can kind of see where I came from. The very tallest peak up there at Manning Camp, I think, is just down and to the left of that, in that saddle. So I kind of came down that ravine, came around this, but I started up there this morning and been hiking about 3.5 hours to get to this point. A little over 8 miles in today, maybe 8.25. I walked right through Juniper Basin without seeing where the campsites were. Unless this is them here. Oh, this is it. Pay attention. Trail. There's Karens. Very different down here. Starting to get back into the desert. Alright, stopped to change battery and refilled my water bottle, and this is my view. Looks like I'm just going to follow this ridge down, so it's going to be kind of up and down, up and down, up and down all the way there. You can see the boneyard, the airplane boneyard, straight down there. Those are all that kind of that light colored square. If you look at all the dots on there, those are all airplanes. They're parked. And then there's some more out this way. Mesquite. I am really dropping down fast now. The trail has become really steep. It's got these short little switchbacks. since I dropped down, temperature's gone up about 20 degrees. It's hot. Like, probably 90, 91 maybe. There's a nice breeze. But the air temperature is hot. See, I'm just continuing to drop down. I think I still have a couple miles left. This part of the hike is really pretty. The trail is just dropping. Alright, I think I'm almost to the road. Just a couple hundred feet, I think. I made it down. We did it. 15.5 miles. Oof. All right. Well, I made it. I'm waiting for somebody to pick me up. I think they're close. 16 miles today, top to bottom. I am exhausted. I'm gonna go home and take a shower and maybe jump in the pool. Relax for the rest of the afternoon. Tomorrow is a recovery day, and then Monday I'm gonna drive home.